Hey, what's up? Aloha gang, how's it going? I hope everybody's having a good day or night, wherever you're at. Thanks for joining me here on this session of Cutty Edits. Mahalo for watching our last session, where I put together a short promo video for this channel where you can find it if you just click on uploads on this video channel. It's just a short video, but you can watch me edit it all together in one video, and you can watch the finished product in another. So welcome again, Cutty Edits. Today I'm going to be live streaming an edit session for my broadcast TV show, Cooking with Cutty, and we're working on a great episode. This episode is called Puppy Love. It was produced in association with the Hawaii Island Humane Society, and I'll tell you the story about how this show came to life a little bit later on in the edit session, because I kind of want to get going and get editing. So I'm just going to quit my little Photoshop program here where I was doing some graphics work and pop right there onto Final Cut Pro. There you have it. And feel free to jump in here on the chat box if you're logged in and make any type of comments, suggestions, thoughts, ideas. If you know of a shortcut, if you see I'm doing something wrong or taking too long and you know how to fix it, just jump in. If you have some ideas to help me do some storytelling here as well. What you're looking at here on the screen, this right here, this is basically what I call a timeline. We call it a project in Final Cut Pro, but this is a timeline. This is the episode as it's going to appear over time. And this is each one of these icons here represent a segment of the show that I'm working on. And then the show itself, the show that I hand in is 27 minutes and 55 seconds, which is somewhere right around in here. So I still have some content to create for this show, but I have some ideas for that, which I'll talk to you in another session. I'm going to start trying to keep my sessions down to an hour or less, so I don't know how much we'll get done, but we'll do as much as we can. I haven't edited this show in quite a while. It's been a few weeks due to an injury, and so I'm having to sort of come back to it, and I have to kind of figure out where I left things off and kind of go from there, basically. Every show begins with an opening. We have our opening. I'm going to play it for you here. I'm going to play it and run through it and see if there's anything that I need to change, or at least make a note to change of layer. So this is the opening segment right here. I'm just going to go to the beginning, and I'm going to play it, and you'll see sort of how that works, and we'll go from there. Aloha. Ooh, it's going to be a fantastic day today. We're falling in love. Puppy love, that is, with our friends at the Hawaii Island Humane Society. Let's tell them what else we're going to do today, kids.
We're going to make some vegan treats.
For ourselves. And for all the doggies we'll be meeting today.
Plus, we're going to learn all about the Hawaii Island Humane Society's Junior PAL certification program.
And remember, it's not just a cooking show for kids.
It's a way of life. Yeah.
Cooking with Cutty, I'm going out of my head. Cooking with Cutty, whether it's fish, fruit, or bread. Cooking with Cutty, he'll keep you fed. Cooking with Cutty. Cooking with Cutty, whether it's fish, fruit, or bread. Cooking with Cutty, oh, he'll keep you fed. Cooking with Cutty.
Right, and there you have it. So that's the segment. It's around 1 minute and 20 seconds long. We try and keep it, around 1 minute long if we can. And it's basically an intro to what's going to happen today. That is, we're going to meet all the great people at the Hawaii Island Humane Society, and then it's the rest of it is scenes and clips from from various episodes we've done over the years, and most of them are recent, along with our theme song. written by a very talented artist. Thank you very much, Justin. And we have a couple versions of our theme song, but this is the one that's in this particular episode. These three things that you see here, these three icons. Well, let me just go back to this for a second, just to show you. It's basically one icon, but when you double click on this, it takes you to the kind of the workflow timeline here. And all these little clips. I'll make it a little bit bigger for you here. I wasn't planning on talking that much this episode, but oh well. I was just gonna edit away, but anyway, you see all these clips right here. There's a ton of them, and each one of these clips represents an edit, and it takes a long time, as we discussed the other day, anywhere from 1 to 2 hours for every minute of finished product. Anyway, back to the master timeline is what I call this. This is so I can lay out the show and see how I'm doing on timing and segments and whatnot. These right here, these are commercials. These are commercials for the show that are going to be airing, and these are each 30-second commercials. What I did was I used a little spacer here to lift them up off the timeline so I could distinguish show from commercials. These commercials, I just, thank you guys. Thank you, KBRA and Valve and Island Collections and all the guys from there's a production company that we're working with. Anyway, thank you guys very much. We Foil Surf for contributing to our show in this manner. We may change commercials out. If you guys, anybody is interested in putting a commercial on the show, let us know as well. This isn't a pitch, but just so that you guys know. So here's the opening to the show right here, past our commercial. So we did the show open, which is, just kind of gets people excited and gets them ready for the show. And now here comes the actual show. And I'm gonna watch it on the master timeline, but I'm probably gonna have to dig into this one if I need to make any changes on it. This is the first segment. It's the cooking segment. And we're back with Abraham and Donica and our very special kids from the Hawaii Island Humane Society Junior PAL program. And today we're making some special treats for the doggies and for ourselves, Donica.
That's right, Cutty. Vegetarian treats. Some people feed their dogs a vegetarian diet with good results. So we thought it would be fun.
Okay, so, and I see a jump cut right there. So, again, I'm not a jump cut guy. I like to cover my jump cuts with B-roll. So we have a lot of B-roll, a lot of good B-roll for this episode. And so, let's see.
Treats for the doggies and for ourselves, Donica. That's right, Cutty.
Okay, so you see that jump cut, and I'm just gonna. I have I made a little event folder over here. Event folders are where you can dump whatever video you want all into one folder from your master video folder. So I put as much video in here that had B-roll that I knew I was eventually going to use at some point in time. Kids' faces, mainly, and also we did some food, and you'll see where those come into use later on. But anyway, got a couple good video B-rolls, like this right here. Just gonna grab just a little piece of this and drag it down into my timeline and cover this one right here. And
for ourselves, Donica. That's right, Cutty.
Okay, so she's talking. I don't want her talking in this, so I'm gonna have to use a different piece. In fact, I might even, let's see, I've got what I've got. I thought I had a shot of all of them together, a nice shot. Let me see if I can find that one. There's a kind of a good one right there. Try and use that a little bit. Let's see if that works. And I've got a lot of jump cuts to edit here. I've already done a bunch of editing on this episode, so I know it's session 1, but hey, this is this is a new channel, and we're starting where we're starting. So.
That's right, Cutty. Vegetarian treats. Some people feed.
Okay, so that's the cover on that one.
It's for the doggies and for ourselves, Donica. That's right, Cutty. Vegetarian treats. Some people feed their dogs a vegetarian diet with good results. So we thought it would be fun to create some healthy treats. We're not telling anybody that this is what they should feed.
Okay, and so now what you're watching now is this is me basically, again, the base layer of these videos, all of this. This is a layer where you don't necessarily want to watch it, but you want to kind of close your eyes and listen to it and make sure it sounds good. You got to remember, people aren't always watching television, but they're always listening. If it's on, it's being heard. It's not always being seen. You might be in the kitchen cooking, or you might be working at your desk or something, but you're hearing it. So it has to tell the story. Audio. The audio has to tell the story first and foremost on all of this. So here we go.
Some special treats for the doggies and for ourselves, Donica. That's right, Cutty. Vegetarian treats. Some people feed their dogs a vegetarian diet with good results. So we thought it would be fun to create some healthy treats. We're not telling anybody that this is what they should feed their dogs. For those of you who aren't sure what to feed your dog.
Okay, and so there's 2 or 3 jump cuts to edit, and I think I have a picture of a doggy eating a treat, a video of a doggy eating a treat here somewhere in this. It's not in my B-roll file. I'm going to say it's in this file right here. Folder, I mean, not file. And like here's a shot. Here's a shot of a doggy that they're getting fed some treats. Right, so that's kind of a cute shot. And we shot it here already, so that one's gonna be able to cover a couple of jump shots if I kind of let it run out for a second here. So bring that here and kind of stretch it out a little bit. As you can see, I'm covering 1, 2, 3 jump cuts, And these jump cuts were made because there was all kinds of stuff being said in between what made it to the timeline here. And there's all kinds of stuff that was taken out, right? So again, I'm shortening time. This show probably has 4 hours of footage, and I got to make 27 minutes and 55 seconds, including commercials. So I'm at like 23 minutes on this thing. So you just got to cut and cut and cut.
With good results. So we thought it would be fun to create some healthy treats. We're not telling anybody that this is what they should feed their dogs. For those of you who aren't sure what to feed your dogs, you want to check with your vets, and I'm sure they'll be able to give you some very good advice based on the dog's breed, the age, and a lot of other factors as well. But we're just making these treats as an extra, as a supplement to the dog's meals.
Okay, and so this is where it's going to get a little tricky because I'm used to 2 screens on here, so I'm going to have to do an angles view because we shot this. It makes things a little bit smaller, but you can see I've got 4 cameras that I shot this with that I have to choose from. And sometimes you can cover up an audio edit just by switching cameras if stuff isn't too much different. I wonder if I can make it any bigger. I tried. I don't think I can. Let's see. Maybe a little bit here. Let's see if I can do it on this side as well. No, can't get that any bigger. But yeah, sorry about that. But
well, but we're just making these treats as an extra, as a supplement to the dog's meals. We've got some incredible treats.
So for this one, I'm going to just switch a camera view rather than do a B-roll or a cover for this because I think it'll be nice and smooth. So I'm going to switch down here. If you can see, I'm down here on my GoPro camera, which we use from behind, and I'm going to switch it, and then let's see if that looks smooth here now.
Other factors as well, but we're just making these treats
So yeah, looks pretty smooth. Let me try it again.
Breed, the age, and a lot of other factors as well. But we're just making these treats as an extra, as a supplement to the dog's meals. We've got some.
Okay, and so I think I can do the same thing with this one here, and just have it switch back. So I think that'll be. I know it's running a little sticky. I'm sorry about that because, well, I'm not really sure why exactly. If you have anything, if you're online and you're logged in, jump in on the chat box, guys. I'd love to hear your feedback. If you can see something well, you can't see it well, whatever. I'm trying to kind of figure this all out as well. But anyway, let's look at it now.
Supplement to the dog's meals. We've got some incredible treats, and we're gonna get to eat them ourselves as well. All right, so what do you think, kid?
Okay.
Shall we get it started?
Yeah.
Okay, and so shall we get it started? I'm asking them. So at this point, I'm gonna cut before they say yeah. I'm gonna cut back to the camera I have pointing at the kids. Excuse me.
Selves as well.
All right, so what do you think, kids? Shall we get it started?
Yeah.
All right, so the first one.
This treat is a hot one. So we're gonna take some simple ingredients that we know are good for dogs, and
Yeah, I'm gonna what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go back to oops, to the angles here. Oops. So you can see a little, so it'll play a little bit better. And so let's play it again from the beginning, and we'll just keep playing it, cutting it, playing it, cutting it, so on and so forth. Here's what it's gonna look like.
And we're back with Abraham and Donica and our very special kids from the Hawaii Island Humane Society Junior POW program. And today we're making some special treats for the doggies and for ourselves, Donica.
that's right, Cutty. Vegetarian treats. Some people
Now,
feed
I'm just
their
gonna-
dogs a vegetarian diet with
I'm just gonna stop it for a second. I know there's a little
Treats for the doggies.
ruffle in here that you can hear. It just sounds like a like that.
Doggies.
And these are things that the network is looking for. All the networks are looking for when they're running these things through masters, you know, to get them ready to go on air. You want to try to avoid these little glitches as much as possible because they find them. These guys are sharp, and then then you end up having to go in and make the correction later anyway. So I'm just gonna make a note of that, and I'll cut that noise out later on.
Some special treats for the doggies and for ourselves, Donica.
that's right, Cutty. Vegetarian treats. Some people feed their dogs a vegetarian diet with good results. So we thought it would be fun to create some healthy treats.
We're not telling anybody that this is what they should feed their dogs. For those of you who aren't sure what to feed your dogs, you want to check with your vets, and I'm sure they'll be able to give you some very good advice based on the dog's breed, the age, and a lot of other factors as well. But we're just making these treats as an extra, as a supplement to the dog's meals.
We've got some incredible treats, and we're gonna get to eat them ourselves as well.
All right.
Okay, and so, it's so far so good. She's got that funny little laugh at the end, and nobody else joined. I could put a sound effect in, but I think I might cut it out. Let's see.
As well.
So just right at the as
Get
well.
to eat them ourselves as well.
Boom. So just shorten that clip a little bit.
Eat them ourselves as well.
All right, so what do you think, kids?
Okay,
Shall we
so
get it?
again, I just got to cover that.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so the first one.
The first
When I say, what do you think, kids? I mean, that's something that we want to go back to our B-roll and see what I can kind of pluck out of here.
Okay, now.
Oh, there's a nice one with a great little smile. So let's see if we can use. Oops, that didn't work out. Let's see if we can use this one somewhere in here. Let's see.
eat them
Oh,
ourselves.
the really bad
as
joke.
well.
Roll your eyes.
Okay, so that's it. That's all you need. Just a second, just to cover it up.
Some incredible treats, and we're gonna get to eat them ourselves.
Oh, the
as well.
really bad. All right, so what do you think, kids?
Okay, and you can hear audio because I forgot to shut the audio down. Again, B-roll. Generally with B-roll, you don't use audio.
Get to eat them ourselves as well.
All right, so what do you think, kids? Shall we get it started?
Yeah.
All right, so the first one.
The first treat is a hot one.
Ooh.
So we're gonna take some simple ingredients that we know are good for dogs, and we're gonna combine them into a healthy snack.
Okay, and so now you're going to see a graphic coming up here, and this is basically this is the ingredients for the recipe. I used a basic graphic on this, what you would call a scrolling graphic, I believe it's called, or something like that. Not a scrolling, but I'm not really sure. I'll find out though. It's called a ticker.
Into a healthy snack.
I've got Hawaiian purple sweet potatoes and parsley. I've got peas and carrots.
I got turmeric and black pepper.
I've got pinto beans and rice.
Okay, good. So we
Okay, it's pretty good. I'm gonna tighten it up again. You know, when you get these shows, let's say you end up with 30 minutes. Sometimes you're it's easy to cut off the first. And okay, if you go, however far you go over your time limit on your show, the more time you have, the easier it is to cut the fat. But when you get down like sometimes to the last minute or the last 30 seconds that you gotta cut out, it gets hard. And sometimes you're just looking for a breath here and a breath there, and just the smallest, littlest, tiniest things, and going back over, so on and so forth. So I'm gonna try and cut this as quickly, a little bit more tightly, so I have a little bit more time to play with.
A healthy snack.
I got Hawaiian purple sweet potatoes.
Okay, and so I'm just gonna do that. Cut her out a little bit.
A healthy snack.
I got Hawaiian purple sweet potatoes and parsley.
Boom. And the next one should be right in after that.
And parsley. I've got
Okay, so, and again, these are things that you can L cut, and that saves you even more time, and I'll show you an L cut in a second.
sweet potatoes and parsley. I've got peas and carrots.
So with an L cut, what you can do is you would expand your audio, and then I'm gonna do it on both these clips here. And then what I can do is I would shorten this second clip here.
And parsley. I've got peas and carrots.
Okay, and you see, so again, she looks over, and so again, I'm gonna L cut this one. So there's a little overlap.
I got turmeric and black. I got turmeric and black pepper.
I've got.
Okay, and for this one, I'm going to do the opposite of an L cut. I'm going to start him while we're still looking at her. Let's see.
Black pepper.
Okay, and so I'm just going to cut a bunch out of him here. And so you'll hear him talking before we see her off the screen.
I've got pinto beans and rice.
Okay, good.
Right.
So we already got the beans going. We started cooking those, last night?
Yeah, you want to soak them and give them a chance to cook for a few hours. So
Okay.
we started those already. For the dogs, pretty simple. We're just going to combine the ingredients and put them in a bowl.
Okay.
For us,
Okay, so she says combine the ingredients. And again, I'm trying to tell the story audibly and visually, and keep it exciting, keep it moving. So this calls for a shot with some ingredients. So I'm looking for a shot I have here that might have the ingredients for the first segment, and it looks like those are it. Even if not, I think this is a cool shot of the ingredients, so I'm just going to add a little clip of this here, right here. So just mark an in and an out, and then you can grab it, throw it down there. These don't have to be long shots. They just have to cover these just jump cuts right here.
2 hours.
Okay.
So we started those already. For the dogs, pretty simple. We're just going to combine the ingredients and put them in a bowl. Hours.
Okay.
So we started those already. For the dogs,
Let's see.
pretty simple. Soak them and give them a chance to cook for.
Last night?
Yeah, you want to soak them and give.
Those, last night? Got the beans going.
Okay, I'm sorry. They're talking about the beans here. So that's going to be a bean shot. And I think I have a bean shot. But it's in the other video. Let's see. It's going to be in Cook 1. I'm sorry about that. Let's see. Do I have it? Do we have a bean shot? Calling all bean shots. I'm used to looking in a much bigger browser at my video here. So it's a bit of a challenge, but I think we're getting close. There we go. There's our bean shots right here. That's a nice one. That's a nice one. I kind of like this angled shot. This is kind of cool. So let's try that and see how that looks. See if that helps tell the story. If you're watching on YouTube, or if you saw the Facebook post there, please jump in and share it with your friends and your family. If they're bored, this would be a good place for them to stop by and have a look.
Want to soak them and give them a chance to cook for a few hours. So
Okay.
we started those already.
Okay, so I don't, I want to start this shot a little sooner because she starts talking about it sooner. So let's try it again.
Those, what, last night?
Yeah, you want to soak them and give them a chance to cook for a few hours. So
Okay.
we started those already. For the dogs, pretty
Beautiful.
simple. We're just going to
It's a beautiful B-roll shot too, by the way.
combine the ingredients and put them in a bowl.
Okay.
For us, we're going to put them in a tortilla shell, garnish them with some sprouts and
Oh.
dressing.
So while Bella...
Okay, so I had to cover this cut here, and this footage I did not have. This footage I got some free stock footage. There's a couple websites you can go to and get it. As long as you give credits on the credit roll, they'll let you use it. So like these two are shot. This is actually a still photograph that I just kind of manipulated to make it look like video.
We're going to put them in a tortilla shell, garnish them with some sprouts and
Oh.
dressing.
So while Bella cut up our pre-baked sweet potatoes to fit easier into the slow cooker, Ethan, Rafa, and Donica started working on the dressing.
So this is a really simple dressing. It's just going to have our herbs, almond butter, and some turmeric.
Is that a blender or a food processor or something?
It is. Yep. This is a blender. And so
Is there water in the bottom?
we put water in. Yep. So
To
that's
make it all watery?
Yeah, that way it's a
water in it?
exactly.
So it's not just a big clumpy mess.
Okay, so I'm gonna rewatch that. Sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna rewatch that scene again.
Easier into the slow cooker, Ethan, Rafa, and Donica started working on the dressing.
So this is
Okay, so when you have a little lull in audio, then here I just jumped in here and I just did some quick voiceover. I have a timeline that I do that I keep separately for voiceovers, and anytime I need a voiceover, I just write it real quick and pop it in most of the time. So this is just a way to fill some time that I had some good video to cover.
dressing.
So while Bella cut up our pre-baked sweet potatoes to fit easier into the slow cooker, Ethan, Rafa, and Donica started working on the
So
dressing.
this is a really simple dressing. It's just going to have our herbs, almond butter, and some turmeric.
Is that a blender or a food processor or something?
It is. Yep. This is a blender. And so
Is there water in the bottom?
Okay, and so you see I've got this graphic here,
Is there water in the bottom?
but it doesn't match up with the audio, so I'm gonna do that
Working
now.
on the
So
dressing.
this is a really simple dressing. It's just going to have our herbs.
So right around here, let's see how that works
So
out.
this is a really simple dressing. It's just going to have our herbs, almond butter, and some turmeric.
Is that a blender?
Okay, and so I'm just gonna end it right there. Make my timeline a little bigger, so it's the bigger you make it, the more stuff you can do with it. Let's watch it again.
This is a really simple dressing. It's just going to have our herbs, almond butter, and some turmeric.
Is that a blender or a food processor or something?
It is. Yep. This is a blender. And so
Is there water in the bottom?
we put water in. Yep. So
To
that's
make it all watery?
yeah, that way it's a
water in it?
exactly.
So it's not just a big clumpy mess?
It would be a goo ball otherwise. Yeah. So we'll grab a handful of the herbs there.
Okay, and again, you can see I've covered some of these already, all these jump cuts. Right here, here's another one. I was able to cover these. Again, I've said this many times, and I'll say it forever. You know, your B-roll is really helpful when you're trying to tell your story here.
Yeah. So we'll grab a handful of the herbs there. Yep. Beautiful. And then
Okay, there's this little yup that doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna take that out.
the herbs there. Yep. Herbs there. Beautiful. And then we'll pour in our almond butter. Yum. Oh my gosh, I could just eat that by the spoonful. And our almond butter. Yum.
Okay, and again, the yum, I'm going to bring the yum in a little faster. Cut down some time.
Butter. Yum. Oh my gosh, I could just eat that by the spoonful. And we'll grab a small piece of turmeric and blend it up.
Well,
Awesome.
that's the only shot of turmeric that I can find so far. I'm sure there's another one, but But for now, that's the one I'm going with.
Blend it up. Awesome, Ethan. Just go ahead and toss it in that whole hat.
All right, let's see. I'm covering this for a reason. Okay. The reason I made this clip so long is because we still have this guy kind of walking up. But I'm going to shorten it a little bit. Sorry if I'm talking over my audio, guys. I'm in scrubbing mode, by the way, which is, it's really cool, and I think it makes it easier to edit.
Awesome, Ethan.
Here's another cool bean shot that I like. I'm going to perhaps use this one too. Going back to the beans, just trying to get in as much good B-roll as possible. Make my timeline a little smaller here. Find those shots. Where's my bean shot? Did I ever even insert it? Okay, now I gotta watch again.
A lot of other factors as well. But we're just making these treats as an extra, as a supplement to the dog's meals.
We've got some incredible treats, and we're gonna get to eat them ourselves as well.
All right, so what do you think, kids? Shall we get it started?
Yeah.
All right, so the first one?
The first treat is a hot one.
Ooh.
So we're gonna take some simple ingredients that we know are good for dogs, and we're gonna combine them into a healthy snack.
I've got Hawaiian purple sweet potatoes and parsley. I've got peas and carrots. I got turmeric and black pepper.
I've got pinto beans and rice.
Okay, good. So we already got the beans going. We started cooking those, last night?
Yeah, you wanna soak them and...
Okay, so there you go. There's the beans. I thought the shot was in here, but anyway.
Soak them and give them a chance to cook for a few hours.
Okay.
So we started those already. For the dog.
All right, so again, just gonna shorten this here so that the scene has, you know, all the beans in it, but, and then we could put a second clip in here. There's a really cool clip right here, like that, just a quick one. And I might grab that and put it right here when I first start talking about the beans.
We already got the beans going. We started cooking those, last night?
Yeah, you want to soak them and give them a chance to cook for a few hours.
Okay.
So we started those already. For the...
All right, just move it back a little bit. All right.
It's going. We started cooking those, last night?
Yeah, you want to soak them and give them a...
Could be a little bit of a longer clip, perhaps. All right, let's try it now.
And rice.
Okay, good. So we already got the beans going. We started cooking those, last night?
Yeah, you want to soak them and give them a chance to cook for a few hours.
Okay.
So we started those already. For the dogs, pretty simple. We're just going to combine the ingredients and put them in a bowl.
Okay.
For us, we're going to put them in a tortilla shell, garnish them with some sprouts.
Oh.
So while Bella cut up our pre-baked sweet potatoes to fit easier into the slow cooker, Ethan, Rafa, and Donica started working on the dressing.
So this is a really simple dressing. It's just gonna have our herbs, almond butter, and some turmeric.
Is that a blender or a food processor or something?
It is. Yep. This is a blender, and so
Is there water in the bottom?
we put water in. Yep. So
To
that's
make it all watery?
Yeah, that way it's a
water in it?
exactly.
So it's not just a big clumpy mess?
It would be a goo ball otherwise. Yeah. So we'll grab a handful of the herbs there. Ooh, beautiful. And then we'll pour in our almond butter.
Okay, I see we got our Reuben's Nest. All right, Reuben's Nest is joined in, and thank you so much. By the way, for those of you who aren't familiar with Reuben's Nest, they're great. They have a great YouTube show called Reuben's Nest, and if you get a chance, stop by and visit their channel and watch some of their great it's more like a talk show format style show, and it's very informative, and the ladies are wonderful and beautiful, and it's a very pro-social and meaningful show. So stop by and watch it if you can.
Pour in
Here we go.
almond butter. Yum! Oh my gosh, I could just eat that by the spoonful. And we'll grab a small piece of turmeric and blend it up. Awesome, Ethan, just go ahead and toss.
Okay, so I'm going to just bring turmeric in just a little earlier here.
And we'll grab a small piece of turmeric and blend it up. Awesome, Ethan, just go ahead and toss.
Well, I don't like him walking that far back, so I'm going back
Blend
to
it
the other
up.
one.
Awesome, Ethan, just go ahead and toss it in that whole half. Yep. Slam dunk. And Ashley, find the on button for us. Oh, Ethan's on it. Let's see here.
Okay, so that's a lot of kind of downtime right there. I'm going to cut a bunch of that out right till after she says find the on button.
And Ashley, find the on button.
Let's see.
And Ashley, find the on button for us.
All right, so we don't need any of this scene. This one right here is just 3 seconds. That's going to go out.
Done. And
boom, and
slam dunk. And Ashley, find the on button for us.
okay. So I'm going to take Ashley's shot right here and move it here. Get rid of this. Right? Now I just cut another 3 seconds out of it. I know that doesn't sound like much, but folks, sometimes a frame and 2 frames is a lot.
And Ashley, find the on button for us.
Look up at Danica real fast. Go ahead and look at Danica.
Okay, there's some B-roll that I don't think I need. This is why it's I lifted it up off the timeline, because it's all B-roll. So this is not going to be part of the story. It's just stuff I'm going to use later.
So how about one shot of Danica saying, we're gonna mix up our dressing for the human food, or however you want to say it.
So we'll start by mixing up.
Okay, and so this is going to be a video that I'm going to put some voiceover on later on under, and I don't know what story I'm going to tell, but I'll tell a little story.
Look up at Danica real fast. Go ahead and look at
Oh yeah, this is happening.
Mixing up the dog food.
Beans are extremely...
Okay, so I'm going to have to bring this to an end and finish the dressing and then move on to the next part of the scene.
Look up at Danica real fast.
But I don't seem to have a shot of that scene ending. So I'm going to try and see if I can find it in the browser here. So that's basically all we got. Oh, let's see. All right, let's see if there's another clip behind it that I can steal. And this is drilling down, by the way. I just clicked on that scene twice, and now these are all of the edits. This is basically all of the video and the audio synchronized. So, do I have a shot of the blender quitting? Very time consuming, folks. Here we go. Again, I'm gonna try and find this shot here. And that's just called Reveal in Browser. And it'll show you where that scene is. And unfortunately, there is no shot of that blender quitting. So, and that's okay. Things like this happen. So, just gonna cover it the best we can. Gonna bring this clip up here for later use. Let's see. Can I do that? Let's see. First this one, and then this one. All right. I've got this shot of her looking up. Let's see.
So we'll start by mixing up the dog food.
This scene's a little bit loud audio-wise. I'm going to drill down, find those clips, lower them a little bit. We'll be just going here, layer 1. The dialogue here.
And rice, some spice to make it all nice.
Okay, so again, this area, because I see this gray piece, I know I'm going to have to come back to this and further edit this to make it make sense without necessarily having all the footage that I need and whatnot. You're welcome, Ruben's Nest. Okay, so gonna pick the scene back up here.
So we'll start by mixing up the dog food.
Beans are extremely high in protein and can be made into burgers, cakes, drinks, pies, fudge, muffins, and more.
Beautiful.
And so that's just a little voiceover I added. It's right down here.
More.
Beautiful. Beans and rice. Some spice to make it all nice.
Tell me when to stop.
That's perfect.
Good job. And you get an upper body workout while you're doing it.
There's Lisa's joke. Thank you, Lisa. We miss you.
Potato specialty. And we'll get some of those peas. And
So again,
carrots.
just putting up a little, like some little facts, some little fun facts for the, viewers here.
Those peas. And carrots.
I feel wrinkly.
Ooh, and the dressing, the herbs and almond butter.
Yeah.
And now we're going to put it into the crock pot, right?
Yeah.
Yep, you want to make sure it's all cooked.
All right, so we've put everything in the slow cooker, and we're going to cook this for how long?
A couple hours, Cutty. It's funny because
I'm just gonna leave that scine again.
Cooker, and we're going to cook this for how long?
a couple
Okay, so that cut doesn't make any sense. I have a shot of this young lady right here. Well, I'm just gonna let's
Put
see.
everything in the slow cooker, and we're going to cook this for how long?
a couple
Need to cover it with something. So I'm just gonna use some more B-roll. Go to my B-roll event. Find a nice shot of one of the kids. One that's not already in the scene. Right there. And there's a nice shot of this young lady. I'm just gonna see if I can.
All right, so we've put everything in the slow cooker, and we're going to cook this for how long?
a couple hours.
All right. Back it up. Turn the volume down. Start that scene a little earlier. And when we're shooting this B-roll, we tell them, oh, laugh, smile, you know, frown, maybe pretend I said a dumb joke. We try and get as many facial reactions as possible ahead of time so that you don't have to bother shooting that, you know, while you're going along.
All right, so we've put everything in the slow cooker, and we're going to cook this for how long?
A couple hours, Cutty. You know, it's funny because dogs aren't too picky about food being overcooked. We could put it all in at the same time and just let it cook together.
Right, okay, so that's perfect. But humans are a little bit more picky about that, and we're going to be eating some of this too, though, right?
Yeah, true. So we have some of our vegetables pre-cooked.
And we got some tortillas, and you made some dressing for us, and so this is going to be very exciting. You don't want to go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, and so basically the only other thing I would do here, I would be adding the logo, because whenever you come in and out of a commercial, you use your logo. I'm just going to copy the one that I have here in the beginning of the segment. And paste it at the end. And I'll just butt it up against this clip here, this B-roll clip. And, you know, it's 4 seconds long. Maybe it's not long enough. Let's see.
And we got some tortillas, and you made some dressing for us, and so this is going to be very exciting. You don't want to go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
And that's okay. I'm happy with that. Got to just cut it. Just gonna chop it up a little bit.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
There we go. I always leave a little extra on the back end there because sometimes you have to make an edit and you need that extra space to make the edit. So I just go all the way up until the clip goes black on me there. And that's it. So that's it other than this part right here. And we'll come to that. But let's watch what we've made so far. And see if there's anything else we need to cover. Or any other camera angles we want to try.
And we're back with Abraham and Donica and our very special kids from the Hawaii Island Humane Society Junior POW program. And today we're making some special treats for the doggies and for ourselves, Donica.
That's right, Cutty. Vegetarian treats. Some people feed their dogs a vegetarian diet with good results. So we thought it would be fun to create some healthy treats.
We're not telling anybody that this is what they should feed their dogs. For those of you who aren't sure what to feed your dogs, you want to check with your vets, and I'm sure they'll be able to give you some very good advice based on the dog's breed, the age, and a lot of other factors as well. But we're just making these treats as an extra, as a supplement to the dog's meals.
We've got some incredible treats, and we're gonna get to eat them ourselves as well.
All right, so what do you think, kids? Shall we get it started?
Yeah.
All right, so the first one?
The first treat is a hot one.
Ooh.
So we're gonna take some simple ingredients that we know are good for dogs, and we're gonna combine them into a healthy snack.
I've got Hawaiian purple sweet potatoes and parsley. I've got peas and carrots. I got turmeric and black pepper.
I've got
Okay.
pinto beans. And rice.
There's this one scene, with her eyes moving over like that, this one lady right here. So I want to L-cut her, because it just looks a little awkward. So I want to try and, in this video here, I've already separated the...
Carrots. I got turmeric and black pepper.
All right, it's a little better. Let's see. Let's try it again. I think she still looks over here. There we go. Let's try that.
And carrots. I got turmeric and black pepper.
I've got pit.
Carrots. I got turmeric and black pepper.
I'm not crazy about the edit. Go back a little bit here.
Carrots. I got turmeric and black pepper.
A little better.
I've got pinto beans. And rice.
Okay, good. So we already got the beans going. We started cooking those, what, last night?
Yeah, you want to soak them and give them a chance to cook for a few hours. So
Okay.
we started those already. For the dogs, pretty simple. We're just going to combine the ingredients and put them in a bowl.
Okay.
For us, we're going to put them in a tortilla shell, garnish them with some sprouts and dressing.
So while Bella cut up our pre-baked sweet potatoes to fit easier into the slow cooker, Ethan, Rafa, and Donica started working on the dressing.
So this is a really simple dressing. It's just gonna have our herbs, almond butter, and some turmeric.
Is that a blender or a food processor or something?
It is. Yep. This is a blender, and so
Is there water in the bottom?
we put water in. Yep. So
To
that's
make it all watery?
Yeah, that way it's a
water in it?
exactly.
So it's not just a big clumpy mess?
It would be a goo ball otherwise. Yeah. So we'll grab a handful of the herbs there. Beautiful. And then we'll pour in our almond butter. Yum. Oh my gosh, I could just eat that by the spoonful. And we'll grab a small piece of turmeric and blend it up. Awesome. Ethan, just go ahead and toss it in that whole half. Yep. Slam dunk. And Ashley, find the on button for us.
Okay, so here's where I got to make this edit because I want to finish this segment, this whole segment, before the hour's up. So I'm just gonna, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet, but I'm just gonna play with it a little bit here, and see what I can do to clean this up and kind of transition it to the next scene. Now, these are all good B-rolls right here, but okay, so I don't know, maybe something like this. Let's see, do this. I don't want to show him because he's going to be in the next scene sitting down. So get rid of him. Oops. My computer's working hard. I can hear it. All right. So we're looking at this, and then we're gonna look at him for a second while he's watching. And so we'll move him over here, and then we're gonna save her for last. And this would be the machine. And we can cut back to it one more time. Let's see. Find a good shot of it there, right there. Cut back to that scene one more time. So we'll get rid of that. Oop. Let's see. And of course we want to maintain the audio, so there we go. Let's see. Oop, don't need that. Audio was turned down on that one.
Oh yeah, this is happening.
We're going to need one with audio on it, so it's going to be this one. Audio meaning the machine is still going, at least from the perspective of the audience. So that would be this. So we're going to see him. We'll see a little bit more of this scene. And then just the very end of it. So again, I'm just cutting the fat, as we say. That's all gone. Gone. Let's see. And I'm just toggling back and forth between my A key and my, which is just a grab key, and my B key, which is my blade key. And that's how I'm making these quick cuts and edits.
Beans are extremely
Okay, so we're gonna hear the blender. We have a scene where I can hear the blender here. All right, so this one where you can hear it right here, I'm just gonna grab the audio from it by, I missed my right click for copying, but, and let's see. Repaste this scene here. But I'm only using it for the audio. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the video. So you can detach the audio. Get rid of the video. Now I've got my blender sound here. So I've got my blender sound, and I'm just going to fade it out and make it sound like they're finished. Just going to turn this one around. Bring it here. Now's where I'm going to overlap the other scene with it. So I'm going to get rid of all of this except for this audio down here. Because that's my blender audio. Okay, so this. Don't need it. This. Don't need that anymore. Okay. And going to get rid of this, and I think we're pretty close here.
So we'll start by mixing up the...
Okay, so we're going to overlap Donica's audio and fade out the blender scene. I hope some of you are finding this interesting in some way. There's a little button right here. If you just pull it out right here, it'll fade your audio out for you without having to use keys.
So we'll start by...
So, it's going to make it a longer fade out. All right, so let's see how that works.
So we'll start by mixing up the dog
All right, that's not too bad. That's not too bad.
So we'll start by mixing up...
I am going to reverse these two shots because you can see Donica in the background here, but then in the very next scene here she is. So I'm going to reverse these two.
So we'll start by mixing up the dog.
Oh, that's not working either because he's now here he is again. So I'm just going to have to... I'm just going to put a different kid in there. So I have another B-roll shot of this young lady, which we used earlier. We used one earlier. We'll just use another one. She's not really in the scene. Almost finished this one, guys, here. I'm going to cut it off here pretty soon. I see we're getting close to an hour.
So we'll start... by mixing up...
Alright, and bring that out a little bit. This seems a little short.
So we'll start by mixing up the dog food.
Okay.
Beans are extremely high in...
Alright, I think that covers that. So now let's watch the second half, and then we'll watch the whole thing, and I think we'll be pretty close to finish this one. So
So we'll start by mixing up the dog food.
Beans are extremely high in protein and can be made into burgers, cakes, drinks, pies, fudge, muffins, and more.
Beautiful. Beans and rice. Some spice to make it all nice.
Tell me when to stop.
That's perfect.
Good job. And you get an upper body workout while you're doing it.
Sweet potato specialty. And we'll get some of those peas and carrots.
So that graphic just didn't last very long here, so I'm going to make it a little bit longer. It just was a little short. Not enough time to read it. Uh-oh. Spinning wheel. Oh, there we go. I thought we had the spinning wheel of death. Here we go.
Some of those peas and carrots.
I feel wrinkly.
Ooh, and the dressing with the herbs and almond butter.
Yeah.
And now we're going to put it into the crock pot, right?
Yeah.
Yep, you want to make sure it's all cooked.
All right, so we've put everything in the slow cooker, and we're going to cook this for how long?
A couple hours, Cutty. It's funny because dogs aren't too picky about food being overcooked. We could put it all in at the same time and just let it cook together.
Right, okay, so that's...
Well, that's kind of a funky shot right there. What is that? Let's see that again.
Just let it cook together.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm looking for. So shorten it here. There we go. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay, so that's perfect, but humans are a little bit more picky about that, and we're going to be eating some of this too, though.
Right?
Cook together.
Right, okay, so that's perfect, but humans are a little bit more picky about that, and we're going to be eating some of this too, though.
Yeah, true. So we have some of our vegetables pre-cooked.
And we got some tortillas, and you made some dressing for us, and so this is going to be very exciting.
So just a little thing here, like when you're talking about something that happened in the past, you can do a little flashback scene. For my flashback scenes, I like to do slow motion so people understand that it's not part of the main timeline. That it's referring to something else. That it makes them think for a second about why it's up there.
Some dressing for us, and so this is going to be very exciting. You don't want to go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
So that should be pretty close to it. Again, I skim through this, a million times before I end up doing it. But this is basically this would be cook scene 1. I'm going to run it from the beginning. Maybe I'll. I wonder what it would look like if we went full screen with it. Let's see.
And we're back with Abraham. And
let's try it and see how it looks. Does that look okay?
And we're back with Abraham and Donica and our very special kids from the Hawaii Island Humane Society Junior PAL program. And today we're making some special treats for the doggies and for ourselves, Donica.
That's right, Cutty. Vegetarian treats. Some people feed their dogs a vegetarian diet with good results. So we thought it would be fun to create some healthy treats.
We're not telling anybody that this is what they should feed their dogs. For those of you who aren't sure what to feed your dogs, you want to check with your vets, and I'm sure they'll be able to give you some very good advice based on the dog's breed, the age, and a lot of other factors as well. But we're just making these treats as an extra, as a supplement to the dog's meals.
We've got some incredible treats, and we're gonna get to eat them ourselves as well.
All right, so what do you think, kids? Shall we get it started?
Yeah.
All right, so the first one?
The first treat is a hot one.
Ooh.
So we're gonna take some simple ingredients that we know are good for dogs, and we're gonna combine them.
And actually, I've been thinking about it. I'm gonna just drop it down here. I want you to see the timeline while this thing is playing, because that's what this is about. This isn't about the show here. This is about editing the show together. So if you can see the timeline, I'll make it smaller so you can see. As what you're seeing up here, you can watch the little scroll thing go across the timeline and understand sort of, and see some of the, look at all those edits. That's a lot of edits right there for one timeline. But I'll pick it back up sort of where we left off here. I don't remember where we left it off. I'm sorry, but here we go.
Yep, this is a blender. And so...
Is there water on the bottom?
No, were we there? Did I...
You want to soak them and
and give them a chance to cook for a few hours. So
Okay.
we started those already. For the dogs, pretty simple. We're just going to combine the ingredients and put them in a bowl.
Okay.
For us, we're going to put them in a tortilla shell, garnish them with some sprouts and
Oh.
dressing.
So while Bella
So not to interrupt, but as you can see, all of these icons right here, this is the B-roll right here. Excuse me. This is, you know, the cover shots, the graphics, the
Tortilla shell,
text, and so on and so forth.
garnish them with some sprouts and
Oh.
dressing.
So while Bella cut up our pre-baked sweet potato.
All right, I'm going to start it over one more time. I'm just going to play it all the way through, folks, and I think we're going to call it a day because I think it's looking good so far. So go back to the beginning and hope I'm not boring you too much. Here we go.
And we're back with Abraham and Donica and our very special kids from the Hawaii Island Humane Society Junior PAL program. And today we're making some special treats for the doggies and for ourselves, Donica.
That's right, Cutty. Vegetarian treats. Some people feed their dogs a vegetarian diet with good results. So we thought it would be fun to create some healthy treats.
We're not telling anybody that this is what they should feed their dogs. For those of you who aren't sure what to feed your dogs, you want to check with your vets, and I'm sure they'll be able to give you some very good advice based on the dog's breed, the age, and a lot of other factors as well. But we're just making these treats as an extra, as a supplement to the dog's meals.
We've got some incredible treats, and we're gonna get to eat them ourselves as well.
All right, so what do you think, kids? Shall we get it started?
Yeah.
All right, so the first one.
The first treat is a hot one.
Ooh.
So we're gonna take some simple ingredients that we know are good for dogs, and we're gonna combine them into a healthy snack.
I've got Hawaiian purple sweet potatoes and parsley. I've got peas and carrots. I got turmeric and black pepper.
I've got pinto beans and rice.
Okay, good. So we already got the beans going. We started cooking those, last night?
Yeah, you wanna soak them and give them a chance to cook for a few hours. So
Okay.
we started those already. For the dogs, pretty simple. We're just gonna combine the ingredients and put them in a bowl.
Okay.
For us, we're gonna put them in a tortilla shell, garnish them with some sprouts and
Oh.
dressing.
So while Bella cut up our pre-baked sweet potatoes to fit
Are you
easier
getting
in the
hungry?
slow cooker, Ethan, Rafa, and Donica started working on the
So
dressing.
this is a really simple dressing. It's just gonna have our herbs, almond butter, and some turmeric.
Is that a blender or a food processor or something?
It is. Yep. This is a blender. And so
Is there water in the bottom?
we put water in. Yep. So
To
that's
make it all watery?
Yeah, that way it's a
water in it?
exactly.
So it's not just a big clumpy mess?
It would be a goo ball otherwise. Yeah. So we'll grab a handful of the herbs there. Beautiful. And then we'll pour in our almond butter. Yum. Oh my gosh, I could just eat that by the spoonful. And we'll grab a small piece of turmeric and blend it up. Awesome. Ethan, just go ahead and toss it in that whole half. Yep. Slam dunk. And Ashley, find the on button for us. So we'll start by mixing up the dog food.
Beans are extremely high in protein and can be made into burgers, cakes, drinks, pies, fudge, muffins, and more.
Beautiful. Beans and rice. Some spice to make it all nice.
Tell me when to stop.
That's perfect.
Good job. And you get an upper body workout while you're doing it.
Sweet potato specialty. And we'll get some of those peas and the carrots.
I feel wrinkly.
Ooh, and the dressing with the herbs and almond butter.
Yum.
And now we're going to put it into the crock pot, right?
Yep, you want to make sure it's all cooked.
All right, so we've put everything in the slow cooker, and we're going to cook this for how long?
A couple hours, Cuddy. It's funny because dogs aren't too picky about food being overcooked. We could put it all in at the same time and just let it cook together.
Right, okay, so that's perfect. But humans are a little bit more picky about that, and we're going to be eating some of this too, though, right?
Yeah, it's true. So we have some of our vegetables pre-cooked.
And we got some tortillas, and you made some dressing for us, and so this is going to be very exciting. You don't want to go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
And off to a commercial right there. So basically, there you have it. Yeah, it is interesting. There's a lot of work. Guys, you can't even imagine how much work goes into making a half-hour show. It's incredible. Now, there are people that I guess that take less time, but everybody's got a different style, and this is kind of the style I've adopted. I had a couple great mentors coming up in this industry that I would, just stand over their shoulders and just, watch them do their thing. And so that segment is going to be, it's about a 4-minute long segment. If we go back to our master segment, and we find it, it's this segment right here. And you see how there's some black in here because we've just shortened that segment a bit as well. So what we can do is we can, again, it gives me more things to edit on the back end, but we have some ideas about that. But so we just shortened this segment, by, 20, 30 seconds by cutting out all the extra fat. And now that segment ready to go. So we have our opening ready. We have our first 3 commercials, and then we have our first cook segment. And we have another commercial break after that. And then on our next session, we'll edit together this really cool and beautiful segment involving a beautiful lady named Bibi, who we met, this lady right here, from the Hawaii Island Humane Society. And we learned about a program that she had called the Junior Pal program. This is how this show got started. And this is highlighting the Junior Pal program. It's basically a program for students who want to become certified in animal care, animal training, animal behavior. And once they get their certification, then they become eligible to foster dogs. And guys, it's a dream. It's a kid's dream. And in fact, it's my dream right now, too. I want to foster a dog so bad right now during all this. So, Bibi, if you're listening or watching, give me a call. Anyways, all right, guys. This is Cutty signing off for Cutty Edits. Thanks again for joining us for this stream, this live stream, and we'll see you on the next time when we'll edit together the next segment of the show. Okay? Aloha and ahui ho.